Hey everyone, Nubkeks here, welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. Today I'm going to be playing some Tychus, and we've got a pretty interesting draft with an interesting hero. You can imagine why a hero might be in the game if Tychus is definitely in the game. But yeah, Tychus has been buffed a little bit recently, his basic attacks, and I believe his Q ability both do more damage now. So that's actually quite nice, just to kind of bring him up a little bit. And I'm going to be talking all about him in this game. And also, I think in this game we have some pretty interesting deaths. I don't want to spoil too much or give anything away, but there's a few deaths which I think are really, really intriguing. And I'm going to be talking about kind of moving around the map and kind of opportunity cost and kind of, yeah, it's that sort of stuff. We'll talk about all that. I hope you find it kind of interesting. Alright, so Garrosh is banned away, seems all good, and our teammates are looking to play Cho'Gall, which is of course part of why I end up playing Tychus, is to remove that, to kind of deny that pick as a counter to the Cho'Gall. So Tychus of course does maximum HP percentage damage with his trait, which can absolutely shred through Cho'Gall, can make their life very, very awkward. It's worth noting with Cho'Gall as well. Right, Cho'Gall is all about heroes that counter them and stuff like that. Now, Tychus and Malthael work really well with Cho'Gall. They also work really well against Cho'Gall. But one of the classic mistakes Cho'Gall teams often do is they pick up Kharazim to deny it from the enemy team, going, oh, well, Kharazim has percentage health damage, we better take it so the enemy team can't. And then, of course, you run into the problem where Kharazim is absolutely rubbish at healing Cho'Gall, right? Because Kharazim's all about AoE healing. What you have at Cho'Gall? Well, you've got one less body to heal with your AoE healing than you otherwise would have. He also self-heals, and he's got a massive HP pool. Quite difficult to proc the Divine Palm on him properly. So yeah, that's often a mistake people make. Maybe you can run him with a double support with Cho'Gall, but I often see like this solo support Kharazim and it's just like, oh, it's a disaster. The early game, you just get absolutely steamrolled. But anyway, enemy team grabs ETC and Malthael, so pretty decent picks for them. Wasn't expecting them to choose the Malthael. They're running a very, very, very heavy melee comp because of this. Malthael and Sonya, plus ETC, of course, for that main tank. So they're very heavy on melee. They're going to need probably something ranged and probably a healer. So we can kind of pick around that. So I'm going to pick up Tychus, which obviously they would want. Tychus will fit nicely on our team, so he's a pretty tanky range damage. One of the most tanky range damage in the game, really. So that kind of independence will help when we're on a Cho'Gall's team. He also brings a reliable interrupt for Mosh Pit with his grenade. He's also pretty good against Sonya or Malthael when they dive in, because you've got a lot of burst damage with your trait and the level 4 the bigger they are. And he's also good at single target duels in smaller fights that you can have on Dragonshire, and he's got great wave clear as well. So yeah, I think Tychus is a really nice pick here. We grabbed the Oriole as well, so that will combo with Cho'Gall. Also provides a Detainment Strike, which will stop the ETC. Mosh Pits too, or potentially knock Sonya away. That's another decent option. The enemy team takes the Kharazim and they get the Vala. Now, Kharazim actually fits pretty well for them. Right, it fits pretty well with their team because they've got that triple melee dive comp with, you know, ETC, Sonya, Malthael. They're all very divey, so Kharazim can go in with them and really help to punish the Cho'Gall. So they've actually, I think the enemy team's actually put together a solid draft. They got Vala at the end. Now this one, I'm not a huge fan of for them. I think this one is a little bit questionable. She's going to be very squishy, very vulnerable. She's not going to have much support. It's just going to be, if the team dives correctly, it will provide some protection for her. But if they ever don't dive and execute that properly, she's going to be in some trouble. We get Alarak as the final pick. It's called Egoist, not a surprise. See you guys in the game. Alrighty, here we are in the game, and a really interesting draft from both sides. Probably the only real major thing I would have changed on our side would maybe switch up the Alarak pick. I always find Alarak, he's a pretty hit or miss hero. I mean, if he gets a nice they've got a very melee heavy team, as you can see. If he gets a really good combo off, it'll be fantastic. But if that doesn't work out, our team comp will absolutely fall apart and we'll get kind of wrecked. I probably prefer some sort of strong pushing. I mean, Dahaka would have been really good. That's sort of independent front line that's not too worried about, you know, the Malthael or Sonya or anything like that. Brings the global, brings pushing pressure. It might have been pretty good. I don't know. There's a few different options. So you can see here, we're just trying to figure out where to position. Vala actually trades into us pretty nicely. We take a good chunk of damage here at the start. We're just flanking off to the side, right? The big things the enemy team has to watch out for are the Cho'Gall and the Alarak, so we just want to watch out for those. Oriel gets caught pretty far out, and we go in with some of the Tychus combo. We actually get some good damage alongside the rest of our teammates, and the ETC does go down. Vala actually almost goes down. Try to cast a grenade over the wall, haven't quite judged the range, and we don't hit her, so she does escape. And with that, I'm heading towards the top lane. So I actually end up being like solo lane for most of this game because the Alarak doesn't want to, I guess. like I said on the draft, his name is Egoist. He's playing Alarak. He's no interest in particularly solo laning. So I mean, he's solo lane right now, but the top lane is the solo lane on Track and Shire. So we end up kind of on our own and such for a lot of the game. Right here, this is a pretty interesting situation. So you can see I'm kind of hesitating to go in here. Why? Well, it's because most of they just killed Cho'Gall, so they've got a massive numerical advantage around the map, and I don't know where they are. So you can see I kind of wait until the minion wave pushes up so they can't sneak in through, along the right-hand side and gank me there. Now, Kerosene does still come in and get some pretty decent burst damage off. I'm going to have to tap a well to survive with that. So that is a little bit unfortunate, but not the end of the world. And now here we've got a pretty interesting situation where we've lost total control of the map, basically snowballing off of the Cho'Gall dying or Oriel being AFK and Cho'Gall dying because of it. We're in this difficult spot where we're kind of out of position, right? So that's why I'm rotating down. I'm doing something a bit crazy. Right here as well, I kind of figured the Vala was dead. I didn't realize that our teammates hadn't followed us from mid, the Oriel Cho'Gall. I thought this was a perfect opportunity. The Vala and the Sonya were totally overextended down bottom. So go in for the gank. This was kind of interesting as well, where I actually just dashed towards the Sonya because I was being shot by the minions and kind of realized, uh-oh, if I get shot by the minions, they might actually kill me. So kind of awkward situation there. But yeah, that gank could have gone a lot better. Probably should have focused the Vala. I could have killed her. But I was expecting that our teammates would rotate with us because it made the most sense. I mean, I think Malthael went in. I'm not sure if that... Again, we didn't quite see it. He did try stop them in the mid lane, I guess. So I'm not 100% sure what went on there, but certainly ganking that bottom lane was the thing to do. And that's got us a little bit of an XP lead, which is quite nice. Nice kill in mid once again. Ooh, Cho'Gall going low, but will survive. It's kind of funny if you look on the top HP bars that you can see the healing, I guess, from the well on the Cho, but not on the Gall. That's kind of funny. They should probably fix that. I think they should probably fix it. It should show the heal over time on both of them, just for a little bit of clarity in case you glance and make a mistake. So one thing to notice is that I'm not overly... Oh, she was so close to dying. I'm not spending too much time off on my own. I'm rotating a lot in this. Even though I am the solo lane, I'm rotating a lot. So why am I doing this, or what am I paying attention to, is... yeah, Jukes... basically, my goal is to get as much XP for our team as possible, right? That's the big goal here. But when I push out a lane, when I kill all the minions in the lane, right, I can go top, clear all the minions. When the minions are dead, there's no more XP to get, really. So I can kind of trade off a somewhat risky plan of pushing in their towers, which make result in me being ganked. Or I might... I can just roam down and look for a gank if that's going to be better. You can see messing up the stutter stepping there. Not quite getting the thing right. So doing a little bit of a shuffle, but not actually, what you call it, shooting the gun at all. It's kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the big things that players often don't do is, you know, rotating smartly, which is looking for enemy team mistakes, looking for opportunities, and playing around the XP that is available on the map at any particular given time. So right here, this is kind of interesting as well. ETC actually surprises me. I'm not expecting him to be there. So this is this is just a mistake for me. Basically, I was kind of intending to die. I felt like we had a really good position on the map. I knew the Malthael was rotating up, but I hadn't spotted ETC and wasn't expecting him there at all. So the ETC arriving totally surprised me. I was expecting Malthael, and I was kind of figuring I'd probably die, but I could hold on to the point for a good chunk of time, and that would probably enable my team to get the Dragon Knight, but end up dying because of it, which sucks, obviously. Our team almost get a kill on the Vala though, while those two heroes are top. So it's something, it's that opportunity cost. If they send two heroes to gank me, it does mean that, yeah, they get the kill, but in that situation, it almost cost them a kill on Vala. In fact, Vala does go down there, nice. Just because those heroes that went to gank aren't actually there. So it's all about considering when you're rotating and looking at rotations, it's all about what are you giving up? What's the cost? What could you be doing? Because it's all about that opportunity cost, right, for going to either side. Okay, if I go to gank, what am I missing out on? Hey, if I've cleared the minions, I'm not missing out on anything, really. Will it leave my team more vulnerable? Do I need to come and help my team? That's sort of the thought process you want to go through when you're playing, and the things you want to look at. So right here, for example, I know that Malthael is in middle. He might come up and try to fight me. Vala's actually here. This is a huge loss for them, I would say. They're down level 10, so they're in a pretty awkward spot. ETC does arrive. He's dismounted, though. He does come in to get me. Vala, I'm not sure what she's doing. She's diving me, but she just falls over and dies, and we're able to dash out and walk away from ETC. Give him a couple of love taps on the way out. He gives us a couple of love taps. We're all pally-pally. But yeah, I'm not really sure what they were trying to do there. ETC were able to bait out the power slide. Kind of knew he was in the bush. And now we're looking to re-engage. So right here, I kind of mistimed that as well. I thought he might have power slide back up. He obviously didn't. But you do become unstoppable when you activate Odin. And now we're using the whatchamacallit, the standy thing. Again, knew he's in the bush, but I figure I've got enough damage to kill him at this point. What's it called? I don't know, like the statue in the middle there, using that to stutter step around it to just kind of outzone the ETC. We can shoot him, but he can't shoot us or hit us. So getting some free damage in that way. But yeah, my intent there was to, again, bait out the second power slide. I think I misjudged the cooldown on it with the Unstoppable from our the Odin activation. Kind of making myself a real juicy target by simply walking into melee range of ETC. But we actually get the kill on him too, which is pretty nice. Our teammates are wrecking it down bottom as well. In the meantime, they just got a nice little double kill there. Vala respawned and ran down bottom, got killed straight away. But yeah, fantastic. I mean, look, we dragged Vala and ETC both went up top to stop us. We managed to kill both of them, and importantly, we kept both of them busy for a while, which meant that our team are kicking ass in the other lanes in the meantime too, which is all awesome and great. And again, you can notice our team, they're kicking ass elsewhere on the map, so I'm just kind of focused, again, that sort of solo lane role on a somewhat bizarre hero. That solo lane role, just, soaking up that XP, keeping that XP going for us, and getting, that slight structural damage every time we push the minions into the structure. They're doing, a little bit of chip damage, which just adds up over time, right? It adds up over time. It will also kill the minions when you push the minions into the structure kills them. And if there's no heroes nearby, they're not getting any XP. So just getting that damage out like that. Again, here we're so far away from our team, we're not going to be joining into this fight. Vala's also just died, so that's great for us. But yeah, I'm so far away, not going to join in with the fight. There's many enemy heroes down bottom, so what am I going to do? I'm going to push in up top and get like a whole bunch of structural damage up top instead of going to join my team. It's so far, the cost of running all that way down, by the time I get there, you can see if I run down now, by the time I got there, they've already killed everything. I'm able to get some pretty good damage done up top, so it's not too bad. Again, surprised by this ETC rotation. It took me totally by surprise. Again, I was expecting to die, so just do as much damage as I could before I died. Vala's obviously a juicier target. So again, they send, and you can see even Karazim went up top as well. And again, this is definitely, whereas they had a somewhat questionable two-man gank before, this one is very questionable. Because, yeah, sure, you got up there, you killed the Tychus, that's nice. But in the meantime, there was a siege camp plus a Cho'Gall pushing down bottom. And our teammates got an absolutely ton of damage done. They Vala explodes, brutal. But yeah, I mean, sure, you get the kill on the Tychus, but they didn't get any structural damage off of that. And it cost them to keep wall. Now, getting the kill on Cho'Gall is very good. It was a good rotation afterwards and gank from them. Oriel forgot to use the Crystal Aegis. He's kind of learning to play Oriel, I think. So there's a few, definitely like some mistakes from him, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, you're not getting any structural damage off of that Tychus kill. You're not really doing anything. You get the kill, but it's just the kill alone. All it really does is you get some of the XP, and there's comeback XP. That's quite nice. And you deny some XP soak up top from the Tychus. But the cost of it is that, example right here, Detainment Strike is missed with the Oriel. What you want to do with the Oriel as well is you want to like heal then Aegis, because the Aegis will generate tons of energy. So when you've got max energy like that, you drop the heal, then the Aegis, then you drop another heal afterwards once the energy has kind of come back. It's usually the best thing to do. Yeah, crucially though, that was not super risky. I'll come back to that in a second. That's an interesting situation right there. But yeah, I mean, giving up the wall to the keep down bottom is super dangerous, right? Because that opens up an easy keep for us, which then opens up an easy finish down bottom lane. And bottom lane is the most important lane in this map. It's the easiest lane to finish through. Top lane is basically impossible to finish through. Bottom lane is the go-to one. It's got, you know, a bruiser camp and 2 siege camps. It's also open. It's isolated. Not isolated, but it's open and easy to go through. So yeah, bottom lane is the lane of choice. So it's really dangerous to give up, you know, keep walls. It's really not worth it, I would say. That gank wasn't worth it. Interesting there with the siege camp, what happened there. So why am I going for the siege camp? So I'm going for the siege camp. It's a mildly risky play in the sense that the enemy team really ought to invade and to try and take it. So it's more likely that I'm just going to help them take the siege camp. But if they don't come and check the siege camp, it's a nice little victory for us. So kind of no harm in doing it. We should also be able to retreat fairly safely. Unfortunately, the Oriel ran away instead of Detainment striking the Sonya. So they were able to dive us and kill us. So yeah, unfortunately it was a mistake on the Oriel's part. But again, just to illustrate, you know, what I'm going for that siege camp, I'm not expecting to take it. 9 times out of 10, I'm expecting the enemy team's just simply going to come in and steal it away. But that 1 time out of 10, especially because I'm feeling like these guys we're playing against aren't really the best players at all. They're the sort of players that will make the mistake, and then you get a free siege camp, which will mitigate the loss of the heroes that died. So that can be pretty nice. Val actually died faster than I expected. We throw the grenade out anyway, but she's already dead. But yeah, like typical Tychus combo is to use your E, dash forwards and activate your traits, so you do an absolute ton of damage. I always take the bigger they are at level 4. This makes your trait twice as powerful when they're above 35% HP, which I mean most of the time they are when you use the trait. Especially with Odin, you're trying to use the trait kind of early on in the fight if possible. And we've got a couple of kills now. Val is dead, ETC is down as well, and we're really far pushed up. So at this stage I'm using Odin. It's kind of a sieging tool just to get this keep. You can see the enemy, there's no way that they can actually move forwards here against their entire team. There's only 3 of them alive, and just using the Odin to try to kill some of these minions as we go too. Actually, slight mechanical misplay there. Should have dashed with the Odin. Instead, you can see I mistimed it and actually used the Tychus form dash, which isn't good. Wanted to use the Odin one before that expires. So yeah, try get that. That timing is something you want to get right. A common enough mistake I see people do when they're playing Tychus, right, is they're moving all over the place, right? They're moving all over the place when they're killing minion waves. What you just want to get like in that situation where it's just PvE, there's no heroes near you. You just want to, it's very simple, you just want to stand in the perfect position, right? Because there is a perfect position. You want to stand in that perfect position so that your Q is splashing across all the minions, and then you throw a grenade in at the end of the Q cast, and there you go. Fantastic, it's really good wave clear. You only want to be moving around the wave to like get into the perfect position where you're hitting as many minions as possible. And then there's value in moving too when you're killing the wave if there's enemy heroes that are going to try throw skill shots at you or gank you. But I see a lot of Tychuses in a situation where there's no enemy heroes anywhere near. Their entire goal is to just kill that minion wave as efficiently as possible. And they'll be like juking all over the place and missing half the minions. And then the wave clears rubbish, which is not the point at all. So yeah, that's just a small little Tychus thing to point out too. So in this situation here, I mean, I think in terms of it's inefficient map rotation, again, I'd say overall, it's good because the Tychus is respawned. It can run Tychus up to grab that. The Oriole can push in with the Chokeall and the Alarak takes the Dragon Knight. Instead, everything goes wrong. I mean, like I said, this dude's called Egoist. He's like no interest in being the Dragon Knight, even though he's really the perfect one. It'd be either, I'd say Alarak's definitely the perfect one because he's pretty rubbish at, you know, sieging. Chokeall will be a decent second option. But I think ideally you want the Oriole. You certainly want Tychus outside because Tychus is, you know, range damage and he's got Odin, which is this amazing sieging tool. Then you probably want Chokeall Oriole so the Oriole can hat the Chokeall. She can't hat him when he's in the Dragon Knight. She can hat the Tychus. It's not the end of the world because Tychus and Odin does do a lot of damage. I mean, Tychus does a lot of damage in general. So he's a decent hat target, that's okay. But I think ideally put Alarak inside, have Oriole hat the Chokeall, have the Tychus with the Odin. That's immense sieging pressure. A Chokeall, Oriole, a Tychus, an Odin, and a Dragon Knight. Pretty damn good. But anyway, he doesn't want to, so... Alright, I guess. Alright. How to MVP is as healer. Don't die and let teammates die. It's kind of true, isn't it? It's kind of true. Oh man, performance-based matchmaking. One of the ways it might be slightly skewed sometimes is situations like that. But yeah, there you go at the end. So, I mean, we got loads of XP. I thought it was an interesting game. Very much that sort of Soaky Tychus rotating around. We got ganked a couple of times, and a couple of times was our mistake, and then a couple of times was actually a mistake in the enemy team where the kill they got wasn't really worth it. But there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed. Give it a thumbs up if you did. And yeah, I'll see you guys all next time for some more Heroes of the Storm. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.